Hey guys, Liz with 2Z's here and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys about my dream demon. And I want to preface all of this with another story actually that explains how I kind of became to be a lucid dreamer. Now, if you don't know or you're not familiar with what lucid dreaming is, it's basically where the dreamer, myself in this instance, is aware that they're dreaming while they're dreaming. And it can be associated with having some or all control of your dream sometimes, but it's not a necessity. So with that being said, I'm the kind of lucid dreamer where I'm always aware that I'm dreaming. I'm aware that I'm in a dream, and then I have power over the things around me. I can control my dreams basically, and I can choose how much control I want over it. And I can basically let my mind like run its own script sometimes. Like it's not something I'm making happen. And if I want something to change, I'll make it change. But I've only been able to do this since I was maybe like 8 or 9 years old. And it all started with one original dream that allowed me to become a lucid dreamer since then. And there's only been 3 occasions where I was lucid dreaming and did not have control. And all 3 occasions have to do with this demon that I want to tell you guys about. And I don't care if anybody believes me or not. I don't care if anyone thinks it's a joke. I just don't care. I want to tell my story. I haven't told anybody but Blaine, and I only ended up telling Blaine maybe a month and a half ago max, because I had the demon dream again and it had been a couple years. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so 8 or 9 years old, I had this dream for the first time, and I've had it a few times since. Nothing scary, I was going to say nothing dramatic, but it's kind of dramatic in a silly way. But I wake up, I'm at my parents' house. We've always lived in the same house in the middle of nowhere. I've always had the same bedroom. So I wake up in my bedroom, alarm's going off, it's time to get ready for school. I go downstairs, and my mom's in the kitchen, she's washing dishes, and there's a little TV on the kitchen counter, and she's got the news on, like morning news, and I remember coming down. I think I was gonna get breakfast or something. I'm not big on breakfast, but like in my dream, that's what I had to do. And I remember like looking over at the TV in the kitchen, and it's talking about there being an alien invasion, and it was basically breaking news, emergency, like everybody needs to like take cover, defend yourselves, like this is an emergency. And my mom shuts off the TV and she's like, oh, like quickly, we have to hide. And so I go, the kitchen and like the dining room are kind of connected with this one little doorway, and I like dart into the dining room, and I'm under the table. I don't know where my dad or my sister or my brother are at this time. Like in the dream, it was only like me and mom so far. And all of a sudden, like I hear the door burst open like into our house, and it's probably like to the left area of the dining room, and like it's right next to where the kitchen was. I hear my mom scream, and she's like, no, and like I'm assuming she's taken by the aliens, and then they like stomp off with her. Like I can hear big heavy footsteps, and like the dining room's kind of connected to this like stairway that leads upstairs. So all of a sudden, like I'm under the table, and I can see our stairway, and it just opens up into this big fiery pit, and I see like the lower half of one of these aliens, and they like throw my mom into this fiery pit of hell. And I'm sweating, like I don't know what to do. All of a sudden, like there's like at the same time, even though the stairs are on fire, like the aliens have stormed upstairs to where like I'm assuming is where like my sister, brother, dad all were, probably all still in bed, and like they get thrown into the fire. And I remember like the aliens coming in the dining room, like they were looking for me, and I like roll under this like other cabinet thing we have in there, so I'm not under the table exactly. I don't even think I ever would have fit under that. There's a cat just a cat, not even a small child, just a small cat could fit under this thing. But in my head, it all worked out. And at this time, I'm not lucid dreaming or anything. Like this is an actual dream in this moment. And I remember looking up and I could see the alien from under like the dresser, vanity, I don't know, furniture type thing that I'm under, and they couldn't see me. I don't know if anybody's ever seen the like animated Scooby-Doo movie, but the aliens were those green aliens from the Scooby-Doo movie. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, like, please go Google it because it's kind of comical. At the time, like in the dream, I wasn't like, oh, Scooby-Doo aliens. I was like, fuck, aliens. Like, and they had left the room. And so I remember darting like across the dining room. Like, I didn't go like up the fiery stairs. Like, I just remember like going through, there's a little like, it's not a hallway, but like patch of hallway that would lead me to like the living room. We kind of have like two living rooms that are side by side, and like one is where my parents would be, and like the other half has like doll houses and toys and junk, and that's like where me and my sister would play to like leave mom and dad alone. And like they had built a wall, a little door thing like separates the two living rooms. And so I dart into the kids part of the living room, and like I remember like looking into like the fire as I was like trying to like dart through into safety. And like you can't see anything. Like I couldn't see their bodies down there. I didn't see aliens. Like it was just like fire looking back at me. And I ran into the living room, and all of a sudden everything, like all the walls, like the furniture, everything is like crayon drawn, like Elmo's World crayon drawn, like white sheets of paper walls with like a scribble of color on it. My best friend at the time, her name was Rachel, and she's actually our next door neighbor. We were the same age. She's in the room and she's sitting on the couch, and she's got a top hat and like a monocle on. I didn't question it. Well, I questioned why she was there, but I didn't question her get up for some reason. And I was like, Rachel, like, what are you doing here? Don't you know we're in danger? Like, we have to go. Like, they took my family. And she's just like sitting there, like calmly reading a newspaper, something. Like, I remember she was holding something that she was like skimming because we didn't make eye contact at first. And she looks up at me and she's like, I don't even remember it being in her voice, but she goes like, Liz, like, there's nothing to be afraid of. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I just watched my mom get thrown into like the fiery pits of hell. And she's like, Liz, you're dreaming. And I look at her and I'm like, what? Like, I didn't question the fire hallway. I didn't question aliens. I didn't question the crayon drawn room or like Rachel in my house or the monocle. I'm just like, what are you talking about? There's no way. And she's like, you have nothing to worry about. Like, you need to trust me. You need to trust me. You need to trust these aliens. You have control over what's around you. Like basically you'll learn how to do that. You'll learn to believe me. Just trust me. And I remember feeling scared in the dream. Like, I know this was like years and years and years ago, like 9 years old. But I remember like, I didn't hit an epiphany just yet. I was like, oh, okay. And I walk out of the room and I see the fiery pits of hell. And I just jump in. And I just remember when I got down there, there's this long wooden table and like a bunch of chairs. And my entire family is like sitting in the chairs amongst the Scooby-Doo aliens. And I'm looking around, I'm like, what's going on? And there's like a whole Thanksgiving dinner like laid out on the table, like turkey, everything. And my parents are like, oh, like, you just, like, the aliens are here to invite us to, like, dinner. Like, we're celebrating Thanksgiving with them. Like, thanks for coming. I know this sounds stupid. I know this sounds stupid. I might have told only a couple people in my entire lifetime this particular story. And I've only told them because I've had this dream once a year for years. And like, that's kind of like where it ended too. Like, I sat down, like we started to eat, like I woke up, and that was that. And I remember, being younger, and I was like, wow, I was dreaming, and like, I figured out I was dreaming. Ever since then, I have been able to lucid dream. I haven't had a dream since where in my dream, I wasn't like, oh, this is a dream. Like, I can change this, I can fix that, I can do what I want. Or I know I'm dreaming and I kind of let the story play out. And if there's something like I want to change, or I can like change perspectives in my dream too. So like if I'm me, I can be somebody else and then be somebody else. Like it's my dream, I know I'm dreaming. And it's been like this ever since this Scooby-Doo alien dream. And in addition to that, like I said, I was always like, I've had this dream repetitively for years. And since then, like once I start that dream, like let's say a couple years later, I'm like, oh, it's that dream. And I'm not scared, but I still follow through the motions, but I choose to. Like to me, it like completes the dream. But I remember the last time I had it, there wasn't, like Rachel wasn't in the dream and my family wasn't in the dream. The aliens weren't in my dream. I remember just going through the motions. Like I woke up, went downstairs, saw the news, went under the table, went under the furniture, crossed the living room, went into the fire, saw the table, done. But like nobody was in it. Like the last time I really remember having that dream, because I haven't had it in years. I went from having this dream at least 5 to 7 times in my life, probably 5 times truthfully, to like not having it anymore. And I had only ever told a couple people about it because I was like, oh hey, I'm a lucid dreamer, like do you want to hear like how I became a lucid dreamer? And some people theorize that like everyone can do it, only some people can do it, you can train yourself to do it, whatever. Like I don't really have any advice. Like try to have the dream I had and like maybe you'll have an epiphany, and if you have that epiphany mid dream, you then like keep that wokeness, whatever you want to call it. I know it doesn't make sense. I don't care. So following with that, the demon. This is the spooky part of the story I wanted to tell. I actually feel a little anxious about it, but I know this is something that I don't want to be scared of. I can say it a million times. I don't care if anyone believes me. I do not care. But if you're going to watch it, like enjoy, like you're welcome. Basically, where do I want to start? Okay, so let's say I think I was 14 or 15. So this was like a couple years, I've already had my, you know what? Like this is really around where I stopped having that Scooby-Doo dream, because like from 9 to 14, that's about 5 years. And so I remember having a dream and I woke up and I knew I was dreaming and everything was very dark. Everything was very like sinister. And I don't remember details from the first dream. I remember like darkness, but it was light and like everything wasn't pitch black. Like I wasn't wandering through pitch blackness almost, but I was at the same time. But there was almost like a luminescent like light to things. But I didn't see like objects. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but like I guess I'm just trying to like explain the setting. And I remember being scared. I remember running. I remember feeling like there was a sense of danger. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I needed to do. And I didn't I knew it was a dream, but I was scared because I didn't have the power to control my dream for the first time. And I couldn't manifest anything like in a dream before this one. If I wanted to change my outfit, like I could close my eyes in my dream, change my outfit. I could put makeup on myself in the blink of an eye. I could, even if I ever wanted to wake up, the one fail-safe trick that I have to waking up in a dream that I want to wake up from, if I shut my eyes hard enough, like in my dream, and then open them, like it opens my real life eyes. And like I'm awoken from the dream, like out of the dream, like that's that. And I've done this as a trick like for a long time, like if I was just like done or I wanted to change things up, like anything. And I remember like not only could I not manifest, like create something around me, like why was everything so dark? Why did everything feel so like evil, like genuinely evil? And that's not a joke. And I just remember its face. And this is the part that like I feel like people aren't going to believe, like because this is me speculating. It's all speculation. I don't know. I can't know what's real or not real, what I'm being paranoid about. And I understand all that. I accept all that is what it is. I saw a red-faced demon, It had like a red and black face. I remember seeing it. I remember it was able to make itself into like this large black figure, and like it got me, and that's when I woke up. And this is the first time I've ever woke up with like, I guess I want to say sleep paralysis, but I didn't see anything while like I was like laying there not able to move. I couldn't move, and I was drenched in sweat, and I woke up and there was tears down my face. Like I had been crying in my sleep, and like I woke up and I couldn't move. Like I couldn't move for a minute because I don't know if it was sleep paralysis, but I was frozen in fear in my bed. Didn't see anything once I like actually woke up, but I was like it got me, but I woke up. And it genuinely terrified me, and I couldn't figure out why I couldn't manifest. And so this is probably, if I'm like 14 years old, this is like 2009, 2010 maybe. And it's hard to explain like what this red-faced demon looks like to me. I just remember the colors, and I know like if I saw it, I've never seen anything like it. It didn't look like the devil, like not your stereotypical like Satan picture or anything like that. And if you've ever seen the movie Insidious, I never told anybody because I thought everyone would say like, oh, like you're making this up, or it's just the demon from that movie, like you saw the movie and dreamt it. Like no, I did not. I did some research. The movie did come out in 2011, so I would have been like 16 years old at the time, 15 and a half to 16. So like, I know for a fact that this is past the time when I first had the red-faced demon dream. And when I saw the movie for the first time, I didn't have any idea what it was about. I just remember people saying like, oh, it's basically about like the dream world and getting their son back, XYZ. I didn't have any like pre-notion of this red-faced demon. And I remember watching the movie and the scene where they show the red-faced demon in the movie Insidious. I remember my heart dropping to my stomach. No joke. It doesn't look exactly like the one in my dream. But like I knew what are the coincidences that in this movie about a dream world, there's a demon with a red face that like gets you. I've never heard of anything like that. I don't have friends who have told me similar experiences just yet. And I just always had this feeling that if I ever told anyone, like, they wouldn't take me seriously. There's no reason to tell anyone about it. Is what it is. I hadn't had that dream in a year or two at that time, year and a half maybe. I was like, well, I'm not going to worry about it. Like, once that dream had happened, that nightmare, when I was like 14, I, things went back to normal. I went back to like my normal lucid dreams that I could control every single night. Awesome. I just like set it to the side. It's like, oh, I guess I had a nightmare. When I saw that movie Insidious, if you haven't seen it, I guess synopsis, like I said, was there's an overall plot. There's a couple movies, but basically this boy, goes to sleep, sees a demon, and then like one day he kind of goes into a coma. Like he doesn't wake up because he's stuck in that realm because the demon like had him. And the dad, I think it's the dad, he has to like put himself in that realm to like try to go save his son from the red-faced demon. And I push it to the side, is what it is, never told anyone, like tried not to think about it, back in my mind type shit. A couple years later, probably 17, 18, or 19 years old, like right around 17 to 19, I don't remember an exact year, I remember having that same exact dream again. Still, no Scooby-Doo dream at this time. Like, it's like, that's gone, done for. But, normal lucid dreams. I remember having the same exact red-faced demon dream. Like, as soon as I woke up in the dream, I knew exactly where I was. It was dark. It was sinister. It was evil again. That luminescent light, but nothingness at the same time. That sense of danger. it was all so familiar. And I just remember I kept like shutting my eyes and trying to open them. And every time I opened them, I was still in that dark realm. And I remember feeling scared. And it ended the same exact way. It didn't matter where I went, what I did, how fast I tried to run, how much I shut my eyes. Like, it was the same exact dream again. And I woke up again, paralyzed, sweaty, and crying. And I remember being genuinely confused. And I've done a lot of research, like psychological, dream-wise, and I can't tie this to anything psychologically. I can't tie this to like stress or anxiety. And the fact that it's so repetitive, granted, it's not like I've gone to an actual psychiatrist and said like, hey, like, here's my problem. Like, I'm not self-diagnosing, but like I do have my own bachelor's of science in psychology, and knowing how I feel and like what this is to me, I just genuinely believe it's something else. And I'm a spiritual person. I can get into my whole like beliefs, thoughts, opinions, religion, XYZ in a different video, but like baseline, I'm spiritual. I do believe in ghosts, and I do want to say demons, whatever you want to call them, evil entities. But I couldn't figure out why I was having this dream, and I don't know, I guess I don't feel like something's personally attached to me, like demon spirit wise. I didn't feel like that at my parents' house. Another whole video that I do want to seriously get into in the future is, ever since I was little, like, my mom has told me that I've mentioned like seeing ghosts, seeing things. I've always had these feelings, and this is gonna sound like I have a big head, and like in a sense I really do, but I'm always right. And I mean that in the humblest of ways, but in a good and bad way, I'm always right. And like, that's what I mean with like I kind of have these like psychic premonitions where if I have this gut feeling, like a serious one, not like oh, I want this, I hope this, I think that, like, I'm like, oh, like I have a feeling about this one thing. It's not normally good. Sometimes it is, but it's almost like always something bad. And with this demon, I have a bad gut feeling about it. And so fast forward to now, I'm 22, so it's been like two or 3 years since like 3 years since I had the last dream. 4 years maybe. I hadn't, because if I was 18, I hadn't really thought of it in a while. I've had a lot of things going on, finishing college, working, friends, significant others, family, everything, like normal day-to-day stuff, to where I'm not thinking of this red-faced demon every single day. Mostly because like I don't feel like anything's attached to me. I don't feel like anything was at my parents' house. Oh, and not only that, but like when I was 18, I was out of the house. Like, you know, that's when I had my first apartment with like a now ex, and I lived on Kent campus for a year. So like wherever it was I had that dream, I knew it wasn't at my mom's, whether it was at that apartment or at the dorm. So I don't think something's attached to me or necessarily my parents. I kind of have this theory that, you know, maybe that movie Insidious was based off of something that really does affect people, and maybe there really is this dream realm, you know, it's where like the lining between like the physical world and the supernatural world is thin, and this demon resides there. That's where it has its most power, as opposed to in the physical world where I would have more power. And I think that I have a bad feeling that it's after me, and I know that sounds silly, and I'm not necessarily overwhelmingly like scared of it. Like talking about it right now, I kind of have high anxiety, but I'm okay. I'm not like, oh, I'm gonna go to sleep and have a nightmare tonight. Like I'm okay. I don't go to bed every night thinking about it. I don't have nightmares every night. I have normal, like, lucid dreams every single night. About a month and a half ago, and granted, at this time I had never told anybody about the red-faced demon. About a month and a half ago, I have this dream. And I wake up and it's very normal. I'm not controlling anything at the moment, but like I know it's a dream. And it was basically like an 8-second clip it, but like it didn't feel like 8 seconds at the time. I remember sitting like on a picnic blanket and there's green grass and like I think like a lake in front of me, like blue sky. And I look to my right and my little sister Samantha is laying on the picnic blanket, like dead. Like her head is like turned towards me, like got the like corpsey skin and like white, like glossed over eyes. And there's just these 2 giant spiders, like not even like realistically like big. They were as big as my hands. And they're just crawling over her face. And I remember one being black and one was like, it was like tan. And I have a phobia of spiders, but like I wasn't scared of the spiders in my dream. I was like confused because like looking over, I was like, what? Like I wasn't controlling that. And then I immediately look up and I'm looking face to face with the red-faced demon that I've only dreamt of twice before. And I remember feeling fear. And all of a sudden I woke up. I woke up this time. I wasn't frozen. I wasn't crying. I was a little sweaty, just probably from fear. And I just had to like cuddle closer to Blaine. Like I didn't want to wake him up. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't go back to sleep for a minute. All I could think about was that dream. I checked the time. I think it was like 4:30, and like I had to wake up at 6:30 anyways to get ready for work. And just kind of laid there. I think I drifted back into sleep for maybe half an hour and then like woke back up, had to get ready for work, went about my day. And later that day, like it threw me off all day. It was all I could think about. I was like, there is meaning behind this dream. And I'm Googling red-faced demon and of course all Insidious is coming up. And then I'm Googling these spiders and repetitive dreams and like just trying to get my own answers. And I guess I just didn't like any of them. Like none of them, they all seemed like cheesy and corny, and they were like, oh, like spiders can mean this or that, and nothing really made sense. And they're like red-faced demon, Insidious, and this and that, and nothing was like, I guess, the supernatural answer. I wanted like to go with my gut feeling. And so being thrown off all day, you know, Blaine knows something's up. We both get home from work later. We sit on the couch and I tell him everything. I sit down. I explain the whole Scooby-Doo dream, lucid dreaming, how that kind of started to tie in with this red-faced demon. And that dream I had twice where like he got me. And this last one, just a month and a half ago, where he was just there and I woke up. It wasn't the same. Like I woke up, like starting that dream, it wasn't like the same one I had twice before, you know, where I woke up in the dream and I knew immediately that it was evil. And this time, like being in that 8-second clip it, like everything was like, it felt peaceful and happy and normal and like turned like that. And looking at that demon's face, like so close to mine, it was like it was telling me, like, you're in my world, like, I have control over you, like, I'm always here. It didn't say anything, but, like, that's the overwhelming feeling, that sinking, dark, evil feeling that I got on my own just looking at it. And then, like, immediately after waking up, like, I was like, oh, shit. This thing feels serious. But, like, being awake, I'm less scared awake than I am like in the dream world, but I'm not in the dream world just scared. And, sat on the couch next day and told Blaine about everything. He didn't make me feel like I was crazy or anything. He heard me out, and I think I kind of freaked him out too. And I wanted him to know that like there's nothing here at our home. Like our home feels very safe. The energy is very, very positive and clean here. And I don't know. It's only been a month and a half. I haven't had the dream again. I don't know if I'll have it again. I don't want to, but I can't rule out that it's not back. Like it's not done with me. I hope that this is something that's just like, oh, like your anxiety, like that's why you're having these dreams, something, anything. I have that feeling that it's not. And take away from this, like, what you will, like, whatever you believe. Doesn't have to coincide with what I believe or think. This was just kind of my story. Wanted to talk about dreams a little bit, lucid dreaming, and this horrible nightmare that I've only had 3 times in my life that's kind of followed me no matter where I'm living or what I'm doing. And it's not like this thing comes either like when I'm at a good or bad point. Like, it just happens. And I think that's why I'm so confused, because I genuinely try to be like a scientific, rational person, and having something like this that I couldn't explain appropriately and comfortably has really just made me feel off. And I've thought about like talking about this for a while. I did earlier this week at work, actually. I was telling my friend TJ about, hey, like, this is the video I was thinking about filming Friday, and I had mentioned the red-faced demon to him, and he told me that he has seen that red-faced demon, like the one I'm talking about in the dream world. And he didn't go into like too much detail about it. And like, again, I know anyone could say like, oh, he's just saying that. I don't care if he is or isn't. Like, I know I'm not crazy, and if I am, like, is what it is, I guess. But yeah, like, that's that. I don't want anyone to worry about me. If you think I'm crazy, just don't call a psych ward, I guess. If you've had like similar dreams, like, let me hear about your nightmares or even sleep paralysis. That really interests me, because I've heard some dark stories where like people wake up and like they know they're awake and they see things that would be in the dream world. And I don't know, I haven't had anything like that. Just that one time, the 2 times I was like, I kind of couldn't move, but maybe I was just like too scared to move. I don't know if I was physically unable, it just felt like it. Or let me know if you've seen this red-faced demon that I'm talking about. I don't even care if it was like before or after the Insidious movie. I think this is a real thing. And not only that, I think humans have the power to manifest things around them. Like, you can almost make anything real if enough people believe in it. And I think that's another big reason why I never really wanted to talk about this before, because I believe the more you put yourself out there, you're opening yourself up to that realm, good and bad, and it can be very dangerous. And it's not a game whether you believe in it or not. I do. And I just don't want to be scared. I don't want to give this thing any more power than it may already have or not have. And if I'm strongest here in this physical world, then like, I'm going to tell my story and I'm not going to be fucking scared. Like, a bitch might have anxiety, but I will not live in fear of like this thing. Yeah, that's it. Sorry that I kind of lost my marbles, but is what it is. I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.